our rules engine, you can set up actions and rules and conditions and actions that happen on every single page individually, or you can set it up site-wide. And then you don't have to use personas, but you can set up certain types of visitors that you want to identify as groups and then change the behavior of the site with those groups. Okay, so I'm going to create the Manchester persona. And then you guys test it and see if it works. So I'm going to go to content. I'm going to create, I'm going to create a persona that's all the way down towards the bottom, a persona type content. And I'm going to identify persona. The key tag automatically becomes Manchester. I could add other tags. Choose photo profile. Okay. So I'm going to why didn't you? Didn't like my photo? All right. Well, choose. There we go. All right. So I've got this persona. Now I set up a rule. So I'll go here to marketing, close everything else just so I can have everything else nice and cool here. And I'm going to set up a site-wide rule. So I'm going to add a rule, and I'm going to put Manchester visitor. And it'll work on every page. And I'm going to set up a condition that whenever visitor's country is UK. Okay, there we go. Then whenever its visitor's country is UK, and I can set up another condition, and I can make it inclusive. And you could also do selected language in your browser if they're browsing in English or something like that, and that's whatever, So you can set up multiple things that are required. You can do and or. You can set up another grouping over here so that maybe the first two have to be true. Their visitor's country is UK and their language is English. I'll check and see why the location the little code VTL isn't popping up a map properly, but report that as a bug. But and then you could set something else. You could even set device type is computer, mobile, tablet, game console, whatever you want. And in our documentation, we have how here in your personalization documentation, you can even extend this and create your own rules, actions, conditions. I think you can even create them via REST API. So there's all sorts of ways that you can manipulate this and add your own actions and conditions. It doesn't have to be ours. So I guess I'll get rid of that right after I say fine, and I'll just delete that, and that'll get rid of that second group. And then what's going to happen? So then I can add tags to the visitor if your country is that, and I can set all sorts of different things. Set a request attribute, set a header attribute, set a session attribute. I want to set the persona, and I'm going to make it the Manchester persona. Okay, but I could do anything. Now I'm going to turn this rule on, but before it actually makes any kind of a difference, I have to actually label some content with that Manchester persona. So I'm going to go to a type of content that I know we've already got a pull personalized. There's a pull personalized tool. You can do a regular content, or you can do a pull personalized. I'm going to go to news, and I'll take some content, and I'll just add, I guess, new content. Okay, I'm going to then the tag. I'm going to put man. The second I do man, I see Germany Wealth Management, Manchester, right? They all have man somewhere in the word. This one has a little persona icon. Persona icons basically mean it's got a 100 tag weight. Now there's a configuration where you can change the weight on persona tags on how high it will pull in the list. But I can add that. I can add other tags. Now that's got a heavy weight that if the Manchester persona is set, this is going to pull to the top, right? And then here, my geolocation query. Here I'm finding. Okay, so I'm going to put Manchester, UK. Click, and I'm setting that news also to Manchester over there. So here, I'm going to go ahead and put Manchester News. And I don't have anything else that's required. I'm going to save and publish. Okay. So whenever we go here to the home page on our site, we go to demo, we go to index, and then I go to, and I should hit this from the front end. Incognito. Oh, and I want to be signed out here. Log out. And I hit news and events. Then I see the Zika alert. Now I can test this page, even though I'm not in Manchester because of this flyout here. So let me see if I click that. Then I see Manchester wins because I've clicked on that persona and it activates as if it were you guys in Manchester. You can do all sorts of stuff like that using the personalization and all of the rules and actions there. Inside of, where's our marketing rules? So you set up these rules and or on the logic, and then you can set up the various rule groups as well, that the first group, second group, third group, something has to match, then the actions fire. They can fire on every page, they once per visit, once per visitor, every single request that's made. You can set up those things. You can filter your rules by active or inactive, or just type search. You can turn your rules off and on over here. So I've turned the rule on right now. The second that you start editing a rule, so it doesn't make your site have weird behavior, I just clicked the or right now, then it turned off, right? So it automatically does that. So you have to remember, the difficult part is remembering right after you mess around with a rule is to turn it back on, right? You can even add a rule to a push publishing bundle and push publish the rules, right? As soon as you get done, you test your behavior locally, you can throw that rule over to your live environment. You can click here and delete a rule as well. Whenever it comes to the documentation, we'll be looking at in the web developer how to pull these things. And we have a .content.pull personalize, which takes the weighted tags and pulls the most weighted tags to the top. The pull personalized weight is a configuration, so you could change that if you want and change the weight. Things that are pulled personalized. How we even document here how you can, instead of just doing the .content.pull personalized, you can do your own code to simulate the way that pulls using the weighted priority on queries of our database. So you use the boosting here to query the database manually, or you could use our just pull personalized tool and the weight property. And there is also the visitor object. So that is here in our documentation, the visitor object, and all of the things that you can get from the visitors listed down here. It's just easy to look down here. Visitor.ip address, selected language, locale, how I was finding out where you were in the world, visitor.persona, visitor.accrued tags, visitor.useragent, device type. All of that is just automatically detected based upon the request, right? So if I wanted to look and see what I was getting on my pages, I could take a look here in my browser. And all right, so I will go to Adam, go to his movies, and if I click Grandma's Boy, I edit the widget here. I will set this is the visitor object. Visitor. And save and publish. And then this is everything about me. So this is my IP address, my selected language in my browser, my locale, where I am, the accrued tags on me because of the things I've been, and you can see it even picks up that I've been clicking on movies and Lucasfilm movies and, so then you could obviously take any one of those properties like visitor.ip address, and on any page, anywhere, visitor is always identified. So I could just do visitor.ip address. I'd have to put my dot in the right place. So that's how you can get all the properties of the visitor. We'll play around more with that during the web developer course where we're pulling personalized and taking a look a little bit more. But that is all of the basic moving parts. The rules engine, the rules, the actions and the conditions on the rules, activating those rules, and then using the pull personalized to make sure that that personalized content by persona or whatever other parameter then pulls to the top. And then if you want to know things about your visitor, you can use a visitor tool to do things like we're doing on our browser here. Whenever you hit our home page, we use the visitor to go ahead and do the flyout on the right hand side so that you can go ahead and see the the people on the page, this little flyout here.